Hello everyone. Don't buy the Slaughtering Grounds because it's terrible. Alright, quick channel update. I'm sorry, I'm really frustrated with this game because I've been trying to record it for the past hour and a half. And it's had tons of problems. The first recording I did had, I thought I could, hey, it's like simple basic game. I should be able to get it to run it, to record at 60 FPS. Nope! Won't let me do that because the frame rate is all over the place. When I look at some areas, it locks at 30, and then when I look at other areas, it locks at 60. Like right now it's at 60. Well, I mean, it should be in the game. I'm recording at 30, but right now it's at 60 in the menus, but when I start the game, it just goes all over the place sometimes. Sometimes it stays in one place, like it just locks. Like, I don't even know. It's so bad. And also, when I was trying to do a recording, my mouse cursor went off the screen and onto my other monitor, which, when you make a bad game, that's what happens, because you're not supposed to do that. Like, you're supposed to give an option where you can have your mouse go off the screen or have it locked to the your monitor, and the only way you can get your mouse to move to the other screen is either through an option or like hitting the Windows key or alt-tabbing, something reasonable like that. You don't do that in a first-person shooter, especially, because you're constantly aiming, you're constantly moving the mouse, so it's bound to go off screen, which it did, and then it killed my recording, basically, because it frapped start recording. Which is weird, because on windowed mode, it didn't do that. It sort of just... It minimized when I did that, so that's incredibly annoying. I could be doing so many other things right now. I could be learning Chinese. I could be learning how to bake. I could be doing so many other good things, and I play this game. Alright. This game was made by Homicide Studios. Of course, they should be renaming themselves to Suicide Studios because something they did recently. Not killing themselves, no. They just did something that pretty much ended their entire game careers. I'll get into that later. So what is this? It's a survival game with zombies because, we don't have a lot of those. Now you're going to be noticing, this doesn't look too bad. The music seems alright. The, character models look pretty well. What's wrong with this game? Well, here's the thing. I am 99% sure most of this stuff is ripped from the Unity engine. What Unity does is they give people a bunch of assets to be placeholders, so that they can so a developer could have a sense of where stuff's going to be, and they can just have a vision and have everything in front of them where they need it, and then they'll eventually replace them with actual original content, their own drawn assets and textures and stuff like that. What you don't do is take those assets and make them into the final game, because that's actually considered stealing. Because you didn't make that, Unity did. Also, this game has some of the blood splatters are actually taken directly from Google Images. So, yeah, some of those textures. So, oh my god, it's so bad. Alright, so in this game you can kill zombies and get money and buy upgrades. And your whole point is to survive. I haven't gotten too far enough because this game, it makes me want to tear one of the guns out of the screen and shoot myself in the face. I think this might be worse than Air Control. Because Air Control was at least, so unexpectedly terrible. This is that, but Air Control was at least, what the fuck is going on? This is, no, really, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand. I mean, there's a game here somewhere, but it's just not conveyed at all. Air Control was, it just didn't make sense, period. So there was at least some value to that. If you watch my Air Control video, you'll see what I'm talking about when you see this. Because that's at least mildly entertaining. I mean, it's amusing for a few minutes. I'll just show you. It's so bad. This is a multiplayer mode. No one's playing it. I'm not going to click this because, actually, there's only one server, and it had 0 out of 64. It's pretty much the same thing as the single player. But, I couldn't get back to the main menu. I had to quit the game out just to get out of it. In fact, if I click multiplayer right now, it'll show like a exit game and play now button. I can't get back to this menu from there, which is so dumb because I've like even designed a few programs, like some small stuff in college, like finances reports and stuff like that, and those had back buttons in them to, like, you know, get back to where you were, and main menu buttons and navigation buttons. Let's start it out, shall we? Let's actually upgrade something here. Let's get damage. There we go. Got 16% damage to my pistol. Kinda meant it to do that to the shotty, but whatever. I can't undo that, which is annoying. But that's the least of our problems. Welcome! You might notice this game looks like ass. Yup, that's not YouTube compression or anything. That is... Are you seeing that? What? Where's the... You guys just saw that, right? So, you see that little dancing goes, and then you might have seen my health bar at the bottom just disintegrating. And I just turned around, and apparently a zombie was attacking. See, look! Look at that! There was no indication. I didn't even hear them because the music's going over it. By the way, the music is looped. It's just this track looped through the entire thing. And you can also clip through trees. Yeah! I'm gonna die here. Despite not hearing a single hit sound. So let's see if we can hear any.
Game over.
Look. And look, even though it's a game over, I can still play the game. I'm gonna see if I can put some better music over this because I don't want you guys to suffer. And also credit the I'll credit the artist who put the music over. I'm putting the music over now because you know, this I gotta be better than this game, which doesn't even credit anything. They still steal tons of stuff. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to, you know. I've lost my train of thought as soon as I start playing this game because I just completely forget what the hell it is I'm supposed to do, what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. Alright, we were talking about this. Alright, now I remember. So, you might be noticing I'm playing the game at 30 frames per second. Now, I'm recording at 30 frames per second. This game can go higher. The problem is that the variable frame rate recording is so terrible. Now, don't even say, oh, because Frapstos, like, gives you huge performance impacts. No. I've gotten several games to work at 60 FPS that look better than this. Look! Look at this. This is awful. Apparently now, like, look at this. Okay, I want to show you. Oh, do you see that right there? Look down there. Alright, so I have my pistol. And I'm gonna hit 2 for my shotgun. All of a sudden I have ammo. Okay, oh, now I see. Okay, so they only tell you the ammo count when you have the gun. So my pistol doesn't have any ammo. Alright, that makes sense. So, but my problem with that is that why do you have this giant, this thing at the bottom here? By the way, when you pause the game, it doesn't, or when you hit escape, I should say, it doesn't pause the game. Mouse control is pretty bad. Let's just turn this off. Okay, oh god, alright, okay. Now there was a time... Oh yeah, zombie killed me despite not being able to hear him. Let's do this again! Oh wait, because... And the timer's actually still running. Let's see if I can... It doesn't even let me customize, like, the individual HUD. It's like, what if I want the timer still on? Oh god, guys, I feel sick just playing this game. God, this game's $10 on Steam. Might I add that? It's $10, and it's not an early access. No. And if it was an early access, I wouldn't even recommend it at all. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's just, I'm running around, and I guess there's a timer. I guess maybe I go to a different level when I'm done with this, but... I don't know, there's also some, like, these objectives on the top left. It's just like, I think it's time to talk about something that happened with this game. Let's do something.
Game over.
Let's see if I can't. Okay, you know what? Alright, sorry about that, guys. I just had to get my head in the clear there. I just can't play this game. It's just so... the barrage of information. I just... Alright, let's calm down. Alright, I think we can do this now. Alright. This is the first time a game has ever made me do this. And the music's gone back on again. There we go. Even though it said it was on, and I just turned it off, and whatever. Alright, so recently, there's a guy named Jim Sterling. He does a show for The Escapist called the Jimquisition, which is a... highly recommend checking that out. Really cool show. Yeah, he shows like some aspects of the industry, and like from a consumer standpoint and from a developer standpoint or a publisher standpoint, because he has connections and you've seen like a lot of opinions. Really cool show, pretty funny at times too. So highly recommend that. Check that out. So he also does reviews for the Escapist magazine. Lol. He does reviews for the Escapist magazine on video games, and he also used to do stuff for Destructoid. Some of you might remember him from yeah, Destructoid.com. But anyway, he did a video on this game from his channel. Now I say video, he doesn't really do reviews on his channel, okay? I'm trying to figure out the right words to say for this. He kind of does these like he plays a game for like 30 minutes or so, and just, you know, shows what it is and maybe critiques it. A lot of the times he reviews crap games, like just games that have been recently released on Steam, because there's sort of this problem that Steam's been having recently where Steam just dumps garbage or allows garbage to just be dumped on the store page, like releasing old games that are just god-awful, like, and just unfixed or unpatched. And sometimes there are some decent old games that can be playable, but they're just dumped with no effort, and the games don't even, not only do the games not sell, they push a lot of the games that need the attention off the newest releases page. So like, let's say a really good indie game comes out, and then a bunch of crap gets dumped. That indie game goes down one little spot for each game that's released on the new releases page, and that's a huge problem. So Jim Sterling has sort of been like, you know, being the advocate for like, you know, promoting good games and shunning the bad ones. So one of the videos he did was this. I like how I said it. Say, one of the videos he did was
You lose.
lol. Yeah, he did a video on this, and the developer wasn't happy. So the developer, what he did was took the footage of what Jim Sterling did, and he put text on that, basically saying stuff like, hello, my name is Jim Sterling, and I'm a fucking idiot, while Jim Sterling's doing commentary. And then he took the video, and then he put that on the Steam page, like, where you can see, like, you know, like, because the Steam page has videos and screenshots for, like, you know, promoting the game when you're on the game page. So one of the videos was just like this video of like just insulting this critic who's just, it's hilarious. Like, I'm just Sterling and this is my shitty review, even though it's not a review. That's the thing, it's not a review. It's just him playing it. He's like, oh, well, he didn't even bother to review this game. Like, I really hate that, how people are like, oh my god, you guys, you didn't even review this game properly. Like, you have to understand, a lot of these videos on YouTube, like what I do especially as well, are like first impressions. And a lot of time, first impressions mean a lot. I understand that some games can be like amazing a couple hours later, but that's, unless you're an RPG, or unless your game is just like, your first impression, or your first like few hours of a game is just intentionally terrible, and then you make the game really good later on. It's really rare to see that. I almost never see that, because usually when the first 3 hours of a game are god awful, it means that the rest of the game is. Now, there's games that are like the first few hours are mediocre or alright, and then they get better, alright? And RPGs can do that, because RPGs are like, some RPG, like Final Fantasy X I've been playing recently, that has like over 100 hours of content. And like the first 8 hours, I like it, but it's like a lot of cutscenes and a lot of scripted events. But, you know, I understand that it's building it up, and I actually like it, because, you know, it's doing what it's trying to do well so far. Anyway. So, you know, after the developer put up this video, Jim Sterling, the original video poster, took that same video, and did sort of like this commentary over what the developer told about him, and then the developer did. So it's basically this giant chain of Inception videos. And then, when the developer went even more further than that and took down the video with a DMCA claim. A DMCA claim for YouTube. Ooh, look. Interesting filter. This game is super edgy, and also my frame rate has dropped significantly. Anyway. So the developer DMCA'd his video with a copyright notice, which that's not at all legal, because when you do a video, like a lot of people like, you know, debate on what is legal and or what is like ethical and what is like copyright, what is in the gaming industry, because like stuff like movies is a little different. Like obviously, like there's some gray areas like commentating over a movie, but like doing it like very little commentary, and then like a lot of the movie is shown, and then like showing movie spoilers, and that can kind of make sense to an extent. Like I can see why someone would get annoyed, like if their film was someone did a commentary on their film and like barely talked over it and claimed it was their like new content. How it works is that when you add your own content, it to the content that you're, you know, adding to, it creates its own new IP. It's sort of its own new intellectual property. For most cases. Now, for games, it's like when you're playing the game, when you're commenting over the game, it's this new thing. Like, it's your own story. Like, you're playing the game differently. Unless the game is completely on rails, like a movie, it's a very different case. And also there's like the regards of like cutscenes, like you can't really change cutscenes for the most part in most games. Like there's sometimes where like you can have different choices, or some QTEs. Well, that's about it. So that's sort of like this dark, like this loophole that a lot of developers have and publishers have, where they can just stop monetizing or just completely take down a video. But Jim Sterling's video was like, it was commentary. It was his own gameplay. He wasn't stealing anything, really. I mean, he was just, it became a new, it didn't become like copyright infringing the moment he started doing gameplay of it, in my opinion, and to many others. I mean, the problem is that the law is so outdated that I can't really say like, oh, legally because it wasn't also a review either, but there was some critiquing. So I will go as far to say that the developer was completely in the wrong. And that's a really just a dick move by the developer to just take down an entire, and you know, it wasn't just because he did, keep in mind, I'm pretty sure he wasn't doing it, the developer wasn't taking down the video because it infringed copyright. He took down the video because Jim Sterling was wrecking the game, just like absolutely like just like slamming it, criticizing the hell out of it. And it deserves it. I mean, look at it. Look at it. Hey, how you doing? Oh, go on. That's a trap I just set up down, I guess. So anyway, the rest of the video speaks for itself. And I'm really sick of this happening, like where developers are just, most of the time, big publishers won't do this, like and just attack people or get rid of the game because it's you know, they did a negative critique. In fact, some publishers and developers in like the AAA industry are actually kind of thankful for that they that someone like pointed out the flaws and showed them, hey, this is not like the perfect gem that every fanboy is claiming it to be, and there's actually improvements to be made, and the developers can like learn from it, or you know, get better at making games, and they can please the masses, which is good. Like, any kind of criticism is good. That's why I always ask you guys when you're doing comments on my videos, just to say, hey, like, is this, like, am I doing something wrong here? Am I going off tangent? Am I going off topic too much? Do I need to improve my commentary? Which, you know, obviously I still do. I'm still in my infancy stages, yeah, see? On YouTube. But, to, like, for a developer to just take it down entirely and just say, like, oh, you infringed copyright, even though it's clear that he or she didn't like the way you treated their game. It's just like the worst thing you could ever do. Like, I mean, at least before, when he was making fun of the guy's video, he was drawing attention to himself and making himself look like a giant idiot, but at least he didn't take down the video. And now, actually, it's funny that he DMCA'd the video, because he actually took Jim Sterling's video and did all that. Like I said, he took Jim Sterling's video and put all that text over it. So now we have in a situation where he posted a video that's actually infringing on copyright, because he's re-uploading and like changing something Jim Sterling did, and now it's like this, but like there's also text on it. So now there's this weird thing. Oh my god, it's a mess, and it's hilarious at the same time. I don't even know where to just, you know, there's some people will draw the line in areas. I think this should draw the line right here, like developers just being idiots. And in fact, actually, Jim Sterling did a Jimquisition on this subject, and I'll show you a video of that. He explains it way better than I ever will. Yeah. Alright, the slaughtering grounds, everyone, before I go off into a ranty tangent, if I haven't already. Hopefully this video doesn't get DMCA'd. Probably won't, because I mean, like, a developer does this again, he's pretty much done for good. I mean, their career's already in the toilet. One quick thing I should actually mention is that there was a developer who, you know, actually understands, indie developer. Believe he developed Thomas Was Alone. He said he wrote a little thing basically saying to all indie developers, never ever ever try to get back at a YouTuber, because all it will do is give that YouTuber more attention and it will get them more fame. And that's exactly what happened to Jim Sterling. It's happened before to him, and he's gotten, like, for videos that have gotten taken down, or like for developers attacking him, he got more attention for his videos, he got more subscribers, and that's exactly what happened with this game. As soon as he got DMCA'd, as soon as he got that video like edited over and posted on the Steam page about the developer just making fun of him, his original video got DMCA'd. And, well, I mean, sorry. His original video got tons and tons of views. So, and then he got tons of subscribers, and yeah, that didn't really work out well for the developer. And someone named Jesse Cox said an interesting thing, is that the best way to get back at a developer, or best way to get back at a YouTuber in like a more positive way, is to, when that critic just like wrecks your game, that should inspire you to make a game so amazing that that YouTuber and a bunch of other YouTubers will want to play it, and then you're gonna be like, hey, I mean, I'll let you review the game, but I'd let you review the game, but you trashed my other one, so you know what? F you. And like, if that game ever blows up, they couldn't get that video on it, or they wouldn't send out review copies to critics who made fun of their games. Like, you can do that. That's fine. You can avoid sending review copies, and they'd have to buy it themselves. It's just, it's just a damn shame. I'm really sick of this happening, and I mean, come on, guys, just look at it. Look at it. I could have just made like a 20-minute video on just walking around here, which is kind of what I did. I didn't even have to talk. Alright. Slaughtering Grounds, everyone. Not on early access. Released at $10 US, or your regional equivalent. Don't buy this game. I'll have a review for Sonic Boom, or first impressions for Sonic Boom,
Game over.
on Thursday, hopefully. A game that's probably more deserving of my time. Alright, sorry to let this video go out a little longer. I'll leave some links in the description below for music and the Jimquisition video. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to end it right now. See you guys next time.